Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're checking out the PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Sephiroth. So this is an absolutely amazing figure. It came out in 2017 and it's probably one of the best PlayArts Kai figures ever made. It's just such an amazing figure. So I hope you guys will enjoy the review and let's get into it. Alright, stay tuned guys. Okay, so first up, let's take a look at the box. So the box is pretty standard. We have a nice photo of the figure itself, and we have the PlayArts Kai and Final Fantasy VII logos. On the sides of the packaging, it's pretty much the same. We have the logos once again, and on the back we have a couple nice screenshots of the figure in various poses. Okay, so here's the inside of the packaging, and once again we have a pretty nice photo of the figure itself in a pretty majestic looking pose. It looks really good. And down here we have a little bit of text, so if you guys want to read this, then feel free to pause and read. I just hope the quality is clear enough for you guys to see that. Just a bit about the film and the character and even the blade, Matsumune. And right over here we have a nice window display packaging to showcase the figure inside the box. Okay, so first up, I just want to give you guys a quick look at how I displayed Sephiroth. So this is my entire PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII Advent Children and Remake collection. So these are all the figures that I have. I think I pretty much have all the figures that PlayArts Kai have currently made from Final Fantasy VII, although I am missing a couple of the remake figures. But anyhow, here's how they look. Here is Sephiroth. So as you can see, I've got them displayed next to Cloud Strife, Tifa, Yuffie, and Aerith. But anyhow guys, I do plan to make a review of every single figure here. So if you guys want to check it out, then it will be on the channel. So with that being said, let's get into the review. Okay, so let's go right ahead and take a look at the head sculpts. And let's check out all these details. So I would say this is probably one of the best, if not the best Sephiroth figure that PlayArts Kai have ever made. You know, it's just such a nice figure overall. And one of the main features about this figure, which is the main selling point I would say, to pick up this figure, is the fact that the figure comes with the one wing, which is such an amazing accessory. So this wing does not come with the remake figure of Sephiroth, so I think that's a massive bonus for this AC version of Sephiroth. So if you guys want the wing, then yeah, definitely pick up this figure over the remake. I mean, both figures are great, but I just think this figure may be a little bit better, the fact that it comes with this wing accessory. But anyhow, let's check out the head sculpts. So let me just get a close-up here for you guys so we can check out all these details. So as you can see, the figure has a pretty nice resemblance to how he looked in the film. I mean, I think it's a pretty solid sculpt. I mean, I know some people don't like the head sculpt here, but in my opinion, I think it looks pretty good. You can see the eyes are painted a very light blue, almost green. I mean, even the nose and the mouth are pretty nicely sculpted, and you can see the eyebrows and eyelashes painted in there, which is very subtle detail. You know, they just done such a nice job here. So as for the hairpiece, I mean, I love what they've done here. You can see all the strands of hair, all the sculpting work in there. And it's also made out of like a partially translucent type of material. As you can see at the tip of the hairpiece, it's kind of see-through, which I think is a nice, a nice little touch for the figure. Even the paint job is quite nice. It's painted a very kind of metallic, like silver color. So moving down here to the chest piece on the figure. And I just love this design of Sephiroth. It's probably my favorite design out of all the films, all the games. But here we have these shoulder pads. It's very worn out armor, which I think is a nice touch. And so as you can see, he's wearing this long black cloak piece, like this jacket, which looks really cool. I mean, this is probably the most iconic look of Sephiroth throughout all the games. I mean, he does have a pretty similar look. There's not too much of a difference between how this Sephiroth looks compared to how he looks in the remake or Kingdom Hearts. It's overall a very similar design. And you can just see all these belts and buckles so nicely sculpted in there. And the jacket piece is made out of a soft piece of plastic. So yeah, I do like the fact that they made it, a little bit soft. It's not entirely rigid. But anyhow, here's a look at the hand holding this Amazing blade. This massive, massive sword, Masamune. As you can see, it goes all the way down here. Can't even fit in the frame, it's so big. But anyhow, moving down to the legs and the boots of the figure. Once again, very nicely detailed. You can see all the folds and creases. And let me just give you guys a quick look at the wing from the front. As you can see, it's really nicely detailed. You know, you can see all the feather details in there. It's actually quite realistic. Yeah, they've just done a super nice job here. And it's also got some articulation at the top, as you guys can see. It's held in place by a couple ball ratchet joints. So it's a very sturdy joint, you know, it's not going to fall anytime soon. And it's also pretty straightforward to fit onto the figure. And so this is the side of the figure. We have a nice look at the side of the face and the hairpiece, which goes all the way down here. It's quite a long piece of hair, but you can just see all the bits of detail. Very, very nice. And this is a better look at the shoulder pads with all these nicks and tears in there. Very nice battle damage. And the hands holding this massive, massive blade, Masamune, all the way down here. Yeah, it's a pretty menacing blade. I would not like to be stabbed by this blade. And down here are the boots. And so here's the other side of the figure. So it's pretty much the exact same as the other side, but we have a nice profile of the face. Just looks really amazing. And I love the paint job in the hairpiece, like this shiny metallic paint. It looks really, really good. And of course, we can't forget about the wing. These amazing feather details. You know, this is one of the most iconic video game villains, you know, ever created. It's just such a nice design. It's a very simple design, but I think it works really well. Okay, so here's the back of the figure, and so first up, let's begin with the hairpiece. So yeah, here's how it looks. I mean, I just love the paint job here, especially the tips with these translucent pieces of material. It's a very cool feature. I just didn't expect them to do this on this figure, but I think it works really well. It's a very, very cool touch. And yeah, here's a look at the back of the arm and the blade, Masamune. And this is the wing, which I've got fully extended, as you guys can see. Just to give you guys a look at the range of motion on this wing. It's very, very cool. So it's basically just held in place by a peg joint, like a large peg joint. If I can just move the hairpiece here really quick to give you guys a look. So here's how it looks. It's just held in place by the peg joint right here. It is a pretty sturdy peg joint. It doesn't feel like the wing is going to fall out, so that's always a plus. And of course the back of the cloak piece and the bottom of the boots. So as you can see, the figure does not come with a great deal of accessories. Pretty much all we have is a couple pairs of hands. We have this piece to switch out for the wing, and we have the blade, Masamune, which as you can see is a massive blade. It's pretty much the same length of the figure. And of course we have the wing itself, which is, I would say, the main accessory with this figure. And of course we have the packaging and the display stand inside the box. So that's a quick look at the accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation for the figure. So now the figure doesn't have the best articulation. It's actually quite restrictive, but you know, I think it's enough for this figure. So let's take a look at what we have here. Okay, so first up we have a ball joint at the head, and we also have a ball joint at the base of the neck. But as you guys can see, the hairpiece kind of hits against the wing right here. As for the shoulders, they actually have pretty nice articulation here, despite the fact that he's got these shoulder pads. As you can see, they can go all the way up. So we have ball hinge joints in here, and these pieces also move, as you can see. We have ball hinge joints at the elbows and ball hinge joints at the wrists. Very, very nice movements inside the arms. It's very fluid. So as for the torso, we have a ball joint in there. But of course, because he's wearing this here jacket piece, it's super restrictive. And I think we also have a ball joint at the waist, but I just can't seem to move this joint in here at all because this here jacket piece is just so restrictive. As for the hips, we have these ball ratchet joints, but as you guys would expect, it is quite restrictive due to this here jacket piece. Although it is made into it's made into like a separate piece. As you guys can see, it kind of splits apart like so, which is quite a nice feature, but you know, it doesn't really help out with the articulation. So we have a swivel joint here at the thigh. As you guys can see, it's a little bit difficult to move this joint. We have a double hinge at the knee, once again very restrictive, and we have about hinge joints at the ankle, and I think we have a hinge joint at the toe. So that's the main articulation for the figure. Now as for the wing, as I mentioned before, we have 1, 2, 3 ball ratchet joints. They can kind of go up and down like so, they can go side to side. Same goes for the middle portion. As you can see, you can kind of bend it up, and same goes for the very top piece. It can also go forward and back, as you can see. So, you know, quite a nice range of motion for the wing. I just generally like to, you know, have it down like this. I think this is the best position to display the wing. But yeah, that's a look at the articulation for the figure. So yeah, I hope this articulation demo helped. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Sephiroth. So yes guys, absolutely amazing figure. I mean, if you guys are a big fan of Sephiroth, then you really need to pick up this figure. This is by far one of the best Sephiroth figures ever made, if not the best, considering that it comes with the wing. It's just such an amazing piece, and I think any collector of Final Fantasy VII would really enjoy this figure. So yes, I highly recommend this. But anyhow guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it was helpful. And as I mentioned before, if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I should have a lot more PlayArts Kai reviews on the way. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, have a good one guys.